Hi, and welcome to 30 Second Success Connect, where we introduce you to entrepreneurs who love to connect and lead with. I'm Laura Templeton with 30 Second Success, and today with me, I have the honor to be sharing Dr. Jen Gardella's brilliance with you. Jennifer Gardella is a PhD, and she is your social media expert. She can position you as an expert in driving traffic to your goods and services. So that your phone rings off the hook, right? It's all about getting people to pick up the phone and call you. Dr. Jennifer works with a select group of clients, providing monthly blogging and social media support. And she writes your strategic plan, sets up profiles, and connects you to the right individuals, and then does all of the work for you. She's a sought-after speaker and is a blogger for the Huffington Post and a speaker at the Philadelphia Conference for Women and a recent TED Talk presenter. Congratulations on TED Talk.
Thank you.
And she earned her PhD in educational psychology from Rutgers University. Jen lives here in beautiful Bucks County with her husband, Dave, a retired Navy commander, and they have a big blended family, which includes 4 teenagers, right? 4 teenagers.
Yeah, one
wait,
age down.
5, right?
There's, well, 2 are technically in their 20s now, but we call them teenagers. It's all the teenagers.
Yeah. And their sweet doggy, Casey, right? So can't leave out the office dog.
No, cannot.
So Jen, thank you so much for joining me. I'm excited to have you here with me today. You and I have a history that goes back quite a ways. So, you know, I love the fact that we've stayed connected for a really long time. And, you know, I always ask people, do you remember when we first connected? Like, do you remember when we first met? So do you remember?
I don't remember the event, but I know it was through Jamie Broderick and Network Now.
Yes. I think the first time we actually met in person was in that little toy store. You were doing a presentation for Jamie.
Over in Jersey?
Yeah. Busy Bees or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? You were doing something about a social media presentation.
Yeah.
For Jamie's network. So, you know, it's so funny. I realized that I'm starting to track back a lot of people that I know through Jamie.
Sure.
And I've stayed connected with over the years. So, you know, it's amazing how, you know, you just start to gravitate to folks. And I don't even know if I had launched 30 Second Success yet then. And I'm doing this for 5 years now. So, right. So it's interesting, you know, we kind of go back a bit of a ways. So share a little bit about networking and how it's really helped you to grow your business. Well, what kind of role does networking play with your business?
So for me, there's 2 different types of networking. There's networking that obviously goes on in person, but there's also the online networking. So if we're talking about what I do online right now, it's honestly build a huge LinkedIn presence and share to LinkedIn often. LinkedIn is your ticket to freedom when it comes to building a business, especially in today's world where we definitely have limited opportunities to get out and meet in person. And people, you know, we're being interviewed right now in the middle of the mayhem, but as we move forward, the world is going to change. And there's no better time than the present. Like I have Corona goals. It's like a thing that I started. So, and one of them is to have 10,000 connections on LinkedIn. And then another one is kind of a parallel, 1,000 ideal clients that I am reaching out to regularly. And I did that because they're companions to one another, those goals, but it will help build my network. And then, so my LinkedIn profile in and of itself really is responsible for about 50% of my business over the last 7 years. Sight unseen, people will find my LinkedIn profile because they're looking for help with social media. And then the rest of my clients come to me from a variety of places, some from referral partners that I've met networking, some who I've never met, but we've crossed paths on client projects or in previous lives or weird places like that. In-person networking, I have to be honest with you, plays so many roles in my actual business because I find that when business is slow, if I get out there and network a little bit, it's almost like I drum up energy. Very little actual business comes in from networking. So that is something that's important for me to always remember, I think. But then it is that energetic force that just kind of kicks me off again.
Hmm. That's a great way to look at it. And you touch on something that's really it's something that I absolutely love to help clients understand the value of. Talk to me about referral partners.
Mm. So I have a couple of significant referral partners in the world. One is a website development company over on the West Coast. I met them in 2012 when I was working for a law firm in New Jersey, and we wound up hiring them, and that job ended. The whole thing ended over there, but I kept up this really funky relationship with them. And so when they work with only with attorneys, and so when they have an attorney that needs social media support, they refer the attorney to me. There's also someone locally. Now, I didn't meet her networking necessarily. I met her through my network though, and she has referred me some rather large clients. So sometimes a referral partner is someone that I'm just going to say offers services at your price point. And then I've also found that there are some referral partners for me who they charge so much money that when they get a call, like they may have a $30,000 package. So when they get a call, hey, what's your price point? And the prospect, falls over, they, "Oh, okay, call Jen. She's a little bit, she works with smaller businesses." So those have been really great.
That's awesome. Yeah, and referral partners are, I think, sometimes are the lifeblood of a business when you can build those relationships that just continuously nurture both ways. Like you can refer clients to them, they can refer clients to you. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
Exactly.
I absolutely love referral partners, and I think there's a huge value in identifying the same people that serve this ideal clients that you serve, so that you can have those conversations and help them understand how they can refer you and how you can do the same for them. It's really important. And yeah, it's really beneficial. So how do you stay connected with your audience? You shared you shared the value of LinkedIn and really building that community there. So talk to us a little bit about that. How I can't tell you how many messages I've gotten recently from LinkedIn of people wanting to sell me something,
Oh
especially
yeah.
lead generation stuff. And it's like I'm starting to cringe when I get messages. How do you wait? Number one, how do you wade through that to find the people that are genuinely wanting to connect, to understand who you are and how you can help one another?
So I approach all networking as how can I help people? So the question is not so much what can I sell you, it's how can I help you? And a lot of my connections over the years have come from people that cannot afford me at all. And they call and they say, because I always offer a free 30-minute call. I'm actually offering a free telesummit right now. I mean, I am giving away all the information. Um, and so that's always really been a huge help for me to connect with others and to stay connected. I will share, and partly it's because I do it, but and I am guilty as charged with not keeping up with this, but when you start sharing, when you have a plan for your business to share every day on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of them, there's something magical that happens again in the systems where your stuff starts to rise to the top with consistent publishing, sharing out there. So that's been great. To answer your question about how do you wade through, I can usually tell, I love the emails or the messages on LinkedIn that I get where someone says, I think that you are the perfect person to join our team. And I'm always like, how in the heck did you read my profile on LinkedIn and decide that I am a good person to join your Rodan and Fields team or your Mary Kay Cosmetics team? I can barely get my hair brushed in the morning, nor do I care. So, and I'm an entrepreneur with a social media consultancy.
Mhm.
like, and so that those are very, very easy for me to kind of wade through. And and I cannot stress this enough, people have to look interesting. I am
Mm.
so sick. And I think that that's something that's going to come out of this time, where people are actually saying, I don't have pants on. I'm on a Zoom call. I don't have pants. I'm freaking out. I just talked to one of my clients. She's a divorce attorney, and she's homeschooling 2 children and running a law firm out of her house, and not really sure what it's, if we think that normal and boring is okay, we are going to miss this opportunity for tremendous growth in our world, quite
Mhm.
honestly.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I love what you touched on about um, sharing every day,
Oh yeah.
sharing things that just information that people can use, healthy tips for that they can, things that people can implement.
Well,
It's not.
yeah, and that's the way I did my telesummit. If you go to my telesummit, you'll see, and you've seen me speak before. So I use
Mhm.
the same slides in the telesummit. I'm like, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I am giving away the candy store here. And so the more that you can help people and just give them the tactical, like, how do you write
Mhm.
a blog? So often we get on interviews like this, right? And it's everybody talks about themselves for 25 minutes, and then someone eventually says, oh, write a blog. And then, that done. And I'm like, that you just taught us nothing. I have
Right,
no idea what
right.
to even do.
What is a blog?
Yeah, like, can we go back? Like, I'm
Where do I
thrilled.
put it?
It's like, here's my cat. And I'm like, I still don't know what you're trying to say. So that's the way that I did my telesummit. Like, you can find out information about me all over the web. I don't need to talk about it every time I come on a video.
Right, right. And definitely we'll put how do people get to the telesummit? Just tell us
Oh,
now and I'll
I
put
made
it
it.
in there later. So
Thanks. It's jennifergardella.com. And at the top, there's a big button for telesummit.
there you go. Easy, right?
It's not that hard, right?
Why make it harder than it has to be?
Didn't
Why
see a
make it
need.
harder? Yeah, it doesn't need to be. And I think that's the value of when you touched on the fact of how can I help rather than what can I sell. And I think
Now,
there's so much value in that.
let me be clear. This is a new outlook of mine that was drilled into my head working with the possibility coaches in Buckingham, Pennsylvania all last year, where they really said to me, Jen, you're strangling the universal energy. You need to approach life as, who can I help? And all of the peace and security that you need will come later. And then I worked with Stacy Rasky, who is another coach kind of person, and she said the same thing to me. And so when coronavirus started, I actually kind of freaked out in my head, because I was like, wait a minute, my courses aren't ready, your social media hour isn't ready to relaunch, I'm going to miss this great opportunity to make a pile and a half of money. And then I went, aha, this is the universe sent. Now, I don't believe coronavirus was sent to us to teach me this lesson. I'm just saying it's like an added benefit right now that I am being taught it. Who can I help?
Right.
And if you come from the, and so I was like, well, how can I help? And then, me, right? So if I have an idea, I kind of like to turn it up a couple notches. So I'm like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
wait, I'm going to help in
crank
a
it up.
huge way, right?
Yeah, crank it up. Definitely. And it's so funny because I think, and it's not funny, it is, but I think the whole idea of helping one another is so intrinsic in who we are and how we're built. And yet sometimes we get so wrapped up in the everyday life of running a business and providing for a family that we forget that really is of what we should be doing is, each day when we wake up, how are we going to serve the people around us best?
Right.
And I think that's one of the few good things that's really coming out of this whole situation with coronavirus is that people are coming together and supporting one another and approaching business in a very different way.
Well,
And
we
I
have
think,
to. I
yeah.
mean, we have to remember, have not seen the stats, nor do I believe most stats, right? So,
Mhm.
because it's all flawed research. But a significant number, 50, 70% of businesses have had to shutter.
Yes.
And we're talking about like $1 million restaurant enterprises that are
Mhm.
not even able to offer takeout.
Right.
And we don't even understand what that's going to look like long term, except for
Right.
the fact that I know that my college students are not going to probably have summer jobs, and mom is going to be funding their lives. I
Yeah.
know. I'm like coming to grips with that. But, we don't want the jobs going to my kids. We want them going to people who lost their other jobs and need to feed a family.
Right.
So we have to be very mindful of what this economy is going to kind of chug back up to, and all adjust to that in a very, like you said, come from a place of love and mindfulness, or
Yes.
we're really going to lose the point, I think, of most of this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I think the other the determining factor though is that most people are approaching things from a heart center.
I think
You
they
know,
are.
it
I think,
really is. It really is, and I'm seeing
yeah.
more of that.
I have a
So,
theory that about 50% of the people, well, I was just going to say who are going through this, but honestly, everyone is going through it. But 50% of the people will go back to their normal lives. They'll go back to consumerism and me, me, me. I really do believe that 50% of our world is going to say, wait a minute, I don't need all of the stuff that was so important to me.
mhm.
Because in the end, you can be sitting at home right now in your Lamborghini with your Louis Vuitton purse and you can't go anywhere.
Right. Who's gonna see it? Who's gonna
Well,
see
and
it? Right.
if you're alone with no loved ones around you, what's the point?
Right. Right. And that's just it. And you know what? And to that point, coming back to your connections, I don't know about you, but I'm finding that I'm taking time now to reach out to more people, making more of an effort to connect with the folks that I haven't talked to in a while, or the people that I know. Like I have a dear friend who has his son and his wife are stuck in England right now at Cambridge because they go to Cambridge University. Their health insurance is through Cambridge University. Cambridge is telling them daily that they need to come back to the United States, and yet they're afraid to because of the airports. So reaching out that are like you, that just the awareness. Hey, I'm thinking about you. Anything I can do? I just sent her information about. I saw an article about the State Department helping people get home.
Right.
So taking the time to reach out to people, let them know that you care and that you're thinking of them, and I think too, that's what connection is all about.
Absolutely.
The depth at which we are going, the awareness of connection. I did not had no plans for this conversation to be about coronavirus today, but that's where it went. But I think that, the depth at which we are connecting is going to be so much more intentional when we come out on the other side of all of this.
Right.
When people really see that caring and nurturing, and they realize how much they miss being around other people. Like, I know you work from a shared office space. So talk to us about the value of being around those people on a regular basis. What does that do for your business as opposed to working from your kitchen table?
Yeah, so I had very dedicated space in our house, which was great. I had the whole dining room to myself with my Veridesk. But as we have discussed, my husband and I both working from home were quite loud. And, walking around the kitchen on conference calls, it wasn't working. I needed to get out. So Stacks, which is we'll give Jonathan a plug right here, talk about a business that's going to have to figure out how to rebuild itself after this, because he has had to shutter his doors completely.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that the work environment, first of all, it's kind of funky, right? It's
Yeah.
exposed brick walls and it's neat working space. I have a permanent desk. I have to say I have one of the hippest desks. I got it just by complete chance in the place, so that's really fun. But it gives me the opportunity to rent office space when I need it, because you just run upstairs or just take off over an office if you need it and it's available. Jonathan does a phenomenal job of getting people together. There's a weekly meeting that's actually 1 Million Cups is still going on
Mm-hmm.
every Wednesday via Zoom. So that's there. And then I think Joe Leonard, who's a member of Stacks, she runs a company that helps you apply to colleges and launch your career. Joe instituted like daily lunch at 12:30, which is
Oh,
something
wow.
we had never done before. So
Yeah,
it's who's ever in the building, just meet upstairs for lunch if you want to.
that's awesome.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
so it's those relationships that are intrinsic. Like sometimes we realize that when we work from home, we can kind of seclude ourselves. But then when we're out, that's why I have a membership at Stacks, because I want to use conference room space. I like the people there,
right.
obviously. So it's just sometimes you just need other entrepreneurs to just bounce ideas off of, and that's what 1 Million Cups provides. And it's just being around different people with great ideas and the heart of helping one another, which I think that's one of the things that they've done a fantastic job of nurturing at Stacks. You know, the
Absolutely.
whole Stacks family is just really, really been incredible in that respect. So.
Right, and I can walk around Stacks and, you know, you never really know who's going to be there. Like you could show up, or Kathy Marcino could show up, Patty D'Alessio, who's another Network Now alum, like the two of us. You know, she has a Stacks membership. Chuck Hall, who is a phenomenal, like they're just, people are just hanging out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is just, you know, getting to know the different people in the different areas, and, you know, just understanding who, you know, it's the taking the time to connect with people, and really understanding who they are and what they do and what they bring to the community. And again, it's about, you know, being able to share ideas,
Right.
you know. So what, you know, before we go, and I'm watching our time because I want to be respectful of your time, and we have
I have plenty, and my
oh yeah.
my two college students are out there and they're not happy.
Oh no, that's not good. Well, you know but that, and again, you know, just from that perspective of, you know, how we have to shift to really being able to function in this environment, and you're kind of invading their space at this point in time. Like, how did that happen? You know, so let's talk about, you know, some of the special projects. You mentioned that you have, you know, programs that you're working on. I know you recently shared with 1 Million Cups that you're looking at relaunching the Your Social Hour.
Your social media hour, which was the first business I ever tried to start. So yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, are you working on it? What are you working on right now that's like a special project that you're trying to get off the ground? Is there something that you're kind of piecing together with the support of your community? You know, what kind of feedback are you getting from folks that are helping you?
Right. So it would definitely be the telesummit, and definitely reaching out to people to find new clients. I'm interested in building, and there's tremendous need right now for entrepreneurs to learn how to use social media and blogging to build their business. Like I said, for the businesses that closed and you're just sitting at home, you know, apply for your small business loans, but take the time every day to put up a video, showcase a product, talk about a recipe, do something. So I am still putting out a ton of information in those areas as well. Your social media hour is sort of on the back burner and sort of at the front of my mind whenever I think about it. And I have a couple courses that I'm forever trying to put together. So I think that when you look, oh, and I have books written, you know, so like everything is sort of, you know, like all over the place. And that's where I'm sitting right now. And what I'm really working on is not blaming myself for anything, for not being more together, because you know, I can pay my bills, I have clients, my kids are good, we're safe, and I have this ability to share a ton of information. So that's what I'm really focusing on right now.
Great, great. Yeah, and you did say about sharing on different platforms. You know, just give it to me. You know, where do you think we should be? Where do you think we should be if we're, you know, we are entrepreneurs stuck at home trying to build a business? You know, I have my opinions on trying to, you know, social, you know me, I know I'm the first one to admit, I'm like, I run in the opposite direction of social media every chance I can get. It's
Right.
just who I am. I don't want to, I don't know why. It's a thing about me that I'd rather just not and pay someone else to do it.
Right.
So, you know, but given the fact that we are in a position right now where we need to be focusing, you know, even just a smidgen every day, what do you recommend as far as just a real basic attempt at, you know, just staying top of mind when it comes to social media?
Right. Okay. So this is like a 5-minute answer. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to know exactly where your ideal clients are hanging out. If you don't know that, you're dead in the water before you start. So you can talk generally, oh, you should be everywhere. But if your ideal clients are not on Instagram, do not go through the pain. Like if you want to reach 50 to 70-year-old men, don't be on, like Instagram is not going to bring you any business. So stop. You know, I see so many people out there who are trying to reach people on Instagram. I'm like, I don't really think your target market's there.
Right.
And then you've got to really do some heavy keyword research and write an editorial calendar. So those are pretty big projects. Let's talk about getting started now. If you're an entrepreneur who, let's say, has 1 to 5 hours, 1 to 3 hours a day to dedicate to this, and many do, you should absolutely be publishing something every single day. Now, that could be a video that you make that's 5 minutes long explaining something about your business. That could be a blog that you write. And let me tell you, in my telesummit on the blog section, I share a super hyper easy way to create a blog post, which I just discovered myself. So it's not that hard. Like, don't make it any more complicated than it is. Just write 300 words, dictate them, get it transcribed, and you have a blog post. So we have to create the body of content so that we have something to share. And then honestly, set up your Google My Business page if you're local. That's your maps listing. It's critical. And it also allows you to share great content to it.
Okay.
Facebook, Twitter, Google My Business, and LinkedIn. If you're trying to attract a variety of people that would be hanging out on Instagram and Pinterest, you should also be there. And then every day, share something. You know, if LinkedIn is your target, if you're business to business, well, Twitter can be helpful there too. Like, it just kind of depends on who you are, but know what you're doing. And the last video that I put up in the telesummit was like the social media channels explained. Like, what are these things and what should I be doing on each of them? You know, get set up on each of the channels and then get moving. I mean, you can't screw this up, right? If your heart's in the right place and you share content, and then 3 days a week share your content, which hopefully looks like your blogs and your videos and all these exciting things that you're putting up there. And then 2 days a week share content of others so you don't look like an advertisement. And that's really it.
Great advice. Great advice. Thank you. I like the whole Google My Business thing. I'm going to have to try that one. But no,
Well,
I
yeah,
appreciate that. And easy. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Great app for dictation, transcribes, and it's artificial intelligence driven. Otter.ai. Love it.
That's exactly the one that I
Absolutely love it.
use. Yeah, if you're on Wi-Fi, you can dictate right into the app, and it will transcribe it as you're speaking.
Yes.
If you're going to be doing this in your car, you want to download some sort of dictation service on a dictation app. I think I have something called like Tape Recorder or something. And then you just get the file, you get the audio file, and then you just upload that to Otter and it transcribes for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Game
amazing.
changer for me.
Yes, me too. Because I can, have all these ideas, and if I just have my phone with me, I just record it. It makes life so much easier, and then I piece things together. So yes, great tool to use. So thank you so much for being with me. This has been so much fun, and I love highlighting what you're doing. Where can people find you? I'm going to make sure that I put it in. I'm going to make sure that I put it in the content below, just so people have it. But just share with us what's the easiest way for us to find you?
JenniferGardella.com.
Yeah,
I make it super easy. So you can join the telesummit. You can book a call. You can learn all about me.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Stay safe with your family out there.
Thank you.
And we'll hope to see you at Stack soon. And for those of you who, stop in and see, if you're in the Doylestown, Bucks County area and you want to stop in and check out Stacks, give Jonathan a holler for us.
I highly recommend it.
Definitely. Thank you so much again. It was great seeing you.
Bye, Laura.
Stay safe, my friend.
You too.